Hello everybody and welcome back. Thank you for watching Talk Show Divas. I am Sarah. These are my lovely co-hosts. This is my friend Cece and I love her.
I love you back.
And this is Miss Brandi.
Hello everyone.
So fierce, so fine.
That's me. I can't help it.
Yes,
I woke up like that.
Yes. I woke up like that. I like it. Today we're going to talk about gun violence. Specifically, the violence that occurs in a romantic relationship between a man and a woman. I know that there's a lot to talk about in other communities, other relationships, but we're just going to talk about today between a man and a woman. Mm-hmm. And it could be married, it could be just someone who's dating. But what I learned on the CDC's website is that half of all the women who are murdered in this country, they're murdered by a spouse or their boyfriend with a gun.
Wow.
And who doesn't have a gun in today's day and time? They're so easy.
And it's so easily accessible. And I'm not understanding how a person who, because most of these men who are doing this, who are shooting or violently injuring their partners, they have a history. They have a past, and it's documented somewhere. And I am just baffled at how they are allowed access to a gun. Like, literally, they can go to the sports store, the Academy sports store around the corner, and get a gun. Right. It's just that easy. And I think that the criteria for these people who are, I say these people, I'm a carrier, and it wasn't that easy for me, so I don't even understand how. I just don't get it. I just don't get it because the statistics are baffling, and
disgusting.
They really are, and it's still happening. It's still occurring every day, all day. Nothing's being done about it. Nothing's getting better, and there are no stipulations being put in place to protect us from this happening. So, I mean, how do you? Let's start from the beginning. Right? So you have a friend, and they're in an abusive relationship. Mm-hmm. But they have not told you. They have not, given you this information. They have not brought you into this. What are the signs? What do you do? How do you, I just don't even know, because I don't know anyone in this situation, because I will shoot you. I'll shoot you first. Okay? Right. So what do you do? Because you read all the statistics, you know.
It's really unsettling how these women, they're groomed for this process, they're conditioned for this process. By the time it reaches physical violence, there's so much emotional damage that's been done that the woman in the situation is often blind to the danger coming her way for many, many reasons. And I think that if the families were empowered to step in and take action, that would be lovely. But our Constitution, especially in the state of Georgia, is set up to protect the accused. Right. There are no victims' rights built into our Constitution.
Wow.
We have very limited protection for victims of any type of domestic violence, and it would be lovely if someone could step in. But let's say you go get a TPO. Let's say the woman did something. Let's say she went and got a TPO, and this man had access to guns.
Wait, explain to the people what a TPO is, just in case they don't understand.
Right. Temporary protective order is a 12-month order that a judge will give to a male or a female who can prove any type of domestic violence that's occurred, and that is specified. It could be a spouse or a boyfriend, but you have to live together or have children together or have at one time lived together. And that's where Georgia is one of the states that still has what we call the boyfriend loophole. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
most people do not even know or understand what
enlighten the audience on that.
So you do have, like I said, very little protection already. You have even less if this is just a romantic relationship that you're just dating.
Right.
Do you have the boyfriend loophole? This man can say, I shouldn't have to lose my guns.
Absolutely.
I've never lived with her. I have no ties to her. And this man can legally in the state of Georgia still purchase new weapons and retain his own. Whereas if they were married, that man would have to surrender weapons and lose his ability to buy more. But that doesn't stop him, because you can buy them on the streets. You can go to a trade show. You can go online. And those people are not necessarily running background checks.
Right.
There is a national TPO registry. If you have a TPO on you, You can't buy one at a pawn shop or
Right.
a gun shop. But that's not to stop a street sale.
Right, but we also have to understand it's a lot of people that do stuff like that just to be vindictive. And so I look at it from the law enforcement side is they always have to figure out who's telling the truth and who's not telling the truth. And the sad thing about it is like when they always say somebody messed it up for everybody. So it's a lot of people that go down and they lie about certain situations, and now we have to prove, now we have to have a witness, and now we have to do this. When if so many people didn't go down and say, different things happened to them, we wouldn't have to prove ourselves.
Okay, but Cece, we're talking now at this point where he has a gun, he has access to the gun, and he has shot his spouse, his partner. You can't you can't deny
but most
it.
men just don't shoot you overnight, though. So I'm gonna tell you where I'm going.
Okay.
Look,
he's
crazy when you got with him, though.
Yeah.
The signs are always going to be there, regardless. Like, so we can choose to ignore the signs, or we can do something about it.
Right.
So just like you said, if my friend was going through something, like if you talk to your friend about her own situation, you could possibly lose that friend, and those people could end up back together.
Right.
So I think that it comes from the woman's perspective as far as what she needs to do to get out of that situation. The signs are there, though. You see stuff before somebody snaps.
That is true. That is true, because I definitely have been in those situations where I was with a guy and I looked in his eyes and I seen pure evil. I ain't staying. I got the hell on, because this man is gonna kill me. And this was over, no lie, this is gonna sound crazy. Okay. I was being thoughtful enough to, this is gonna sound so, I hate this, but I'm sorry. I was being thoughtful enough to go to Subway and get us a sandwich because we was hungry, right? And brought his sandwich back, and I forgot to tell the people, because at Subway you have to tell them to put the mustard and the mayo on your sandwich. They don't just ask you. They might now. Well, this place didn't just ask you because it comes in a little squirt bottle anyway.
Gotcha.
Forgot the mayo and the mustard, and I came home and this man literally acted a fool on me. Now, I'm not dumb. There were some other things that, were happening prior to that. It was not over a sub sandwich, people. Don't leave your stupid comments below. But I seen it. And if it took something that little, something that minute to make him snap and I felt threatened, no, I had to get out of that situation. So I totally understand and agree with you that you see the signs prior to. Okay. But we're women and we love hard.
Love is blind.
Love is so blind. And we ignore, we overlook so many things when we want things to work out. What do you tell your friend? What do you tell your sister? What do you tell your mother? What do you tell them? Let's say you see the signs. You see that this fool crazy. What do you do? Because like you just said, you don't want to lose your friend.
Right.
What do you do?
What if I was dealing with it, or if my friend was dealing with it?
If your friend was dealing with it.
I
you ain't going to be dealing with it, right?
Like if I done seen you 4 times and your eye been black, 4 times, you keep running into that same door, that's on you. Like, I can't sit here and tell you, don't go home to that man, because at the end of the day, that man is benefiting you some type of way for you to continue that relationship with him.
I totally
So I can't want more for you than you want for yourself.
Yeah.
So I can't, I'm not going to jump in front of the bullet, and he been trying to kill you for like 3 years. Like, I'm not going to do that. But if you opened up and you told me, I'm in a situation, I need to get out of it. As a friend, yes, like, I got your back. We could go do whatever.
Right.
So we got to be missing for a little bit. Look, we going to get it done, But I would have to hear it from that person. I'm not going to personally step in, because it's been too many times where I probably put myself on the line and they got back together, and then I'm mad. Like, I should have just minded my business.
And that man could come after you.
Right. Like, you trying to mess my relationship. I don't have time for the drama.
That is scary.
If you need help, get help, though. Like, at the end of the day, don't expect your friends just to know, because you might be that crazy friend that can't nobody tell nothing. So it all depends.
For the woman who has made the choice to go, the best thing that family and friends need to understand is that when this incident is most likely to happen, when the shooting is most likely to happen, is when she leaves. That's the most dangerous time, because that's when he's the most desperate.
Right.
Because even if you've made threats to leave, the moment where he is really certain you are leaving, it's that control is gone, and they have to have it, and they will if they're prone and if they're inclined, and if this is going to happen, that'll be the time.
Right. And normally they'll tell you, leave me, I'm gonna kill you. So.
But they told you that on date night number one.
That's what I'm saying. So you can't just be like, oh, he just snapped and just went crazy. No, he been crazy, but you like this crazy. So you decided to hang out for a while. You got the short end of the stick.
Right.
So you can't be mad later. You know, that's the package you paid for. If that's
now, what I am curious to know, I don't know, I didn't get a chance to review all the statistics, but how many of these cases the man is actually convicted, or how many of these cases? I don't know the statistics, but I know in a lot of these cases when the man does that, he turns the gun on himself a lot of the times.
Homicide, murder,
right.
Suicide.
So I'm really curious to know how many of these men are convicted and are doing time for committing these crimes, because I guarantee you there are a lot of women in prison now coming out of domestic violence relationships where they were trying to protect themselves, but they're doing hard time.
Right.
So it's almost like a catch-22. Either I kill him before he kill me, but I'm gonna most likely do the time for killing him.
No, you just
and he's gonna most likely. But like she just said, it's not always that easy. If I pack my bags and I've already gotten my children out the house and I'm thinking I'm safe, and even if I'm sneaking out the house while he's asleep and he wakes up, who lives?
And you
Who's
get
gonna
smart.
live?
You put some extra sleeping stuff in his drink, and you leave. You gotta go. You gotta think like you
night. Right.
It's ways around situations.
I get what you're saying, but you know when you're in the moment, and a lot of these women have to leave in the moment. Like
Yes, you do.
and it's not like something they planned out for months. Maybe you should start planning 6 months in advance. But 6 months ago, she was thinking he's gonna change. He's gonna do better. We're gonna work this out. Right. So
and
she's not
the
thinking
scenario that you described of he shoots her and then he turns the gun on himself. Did you know that that's its own category now of mass shooting because it happens so much?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
mass shooting does not necessarily mean hundreds of people get killed. It now happens so much that it's its own category. When I shoot my wife, shoot my kids, shoot myself, that's a mass shooting.
Wow.
That is counted. When you hear how many happen in this country, that scenario is included in that number.
Right. Wow, that is horrific. That is really scary.
And did you know that over 54% of these people who commit mass shootings like what we traditionally understand them, 54% shot a wife or a girlfriend first. Way before that ever happened.
Way before it even happened.
Way before it happened.
That's what I'm saying.
Tell me how he still can get a gun.
How is that possible?
There's loopholes. Just like the boyfriend loophole, there's others.
But it's the loophole dealing with men and women anyway. Men are always going to be considered, it's a man's world. That's what they always say. And we got to look at the other countries too, because there's a lot of stuff that happens in the other countries to women that aren't necessarily illegal.
Right.
But you come over here and do it. So we are protected, way more than a lot of different women. Because it's the norm to just knock her down and just, step on her and just walk off like in certain countries.
Yeah, and we think that's god awful.
Right.
And we call ourselves like so progressive and we're so beyond that. But did you know that in this country, if you're female, you're 12 times more likely to be killed by a gun than anywhere else in the world?
That's crazy.
In this country.
In this country. In 2018.
That's crazy.
You are more likely as a female to be killed by a gun here than in any other country. And that's because the access to guns in other countries is so limited.
Yeah, they have swords and other stuff, so yeah. I'm just saying though, just to lighten the situation up. They do hangings and they do other stuff. By the grace of God, we go out a little quicker than they do because world is just crazy. If you're in a situation, just know the signs and do what you got to do, because at the end of the day, nobody can save you like you can save you. So
and there are resources. If you ask your doctors, your physicians are an excellent resource because they are mandated to keep your conversations 100% private.
Right.
They cannot speak to your spouse. The HIPAA does not allow, it's not like back in the day. HIPAA will not allow your physician to even tell your husband this is what's going on with your wife. They can't do that. Even if you're laying unconscious. If you didn't sign a paper saying you can say this, that, and the other thing, and it has to be case by case, not over your entire medical history. So that there are people you can talk to. Some clergy, if you really trust them, but even that's kind of tricky.
Yeah.
In small towns, like what we live in Douglasville, it's tricky sometimes to go to clergy. The police can even sometimes be tricky. You have to really know who to trust. You have to know how to do these things safely. Keep a go bag with some cash, with some clothes.
And food.
MARTA cards.
And food.
Protein bars.
Lots
things
of
that
food.
won't go. You know, that's a legit thing because you might be in a car or you might be behind a building for a day or two. You don't know.
But and also stand strong in your choice though. Don't pack this bag and then go back home tomorrow. Like, you know, that's when the men get confused, I think, when it's a problem now, but then tomorrow, you know, it might be okay, or last week it was okay, now I'm mad. So I think we should stand a lot firmer than what we have been in.
Also know your laws. Know your laws. I don't think people know that in the state of Georgia, when I got my tubes tied 2 years ago, because I'm married, I had to get my husband's permission.
Yes.
Wow.
In the state of Georgia, it is still illegal, literally, for a woman to have an affair, step out to sleep with another man.
Right.
In the state of Georgia, it is illegal. You can literally get arrested for it.
Lose your kid.
No one has went that far. Well, I've heard a couple of cases where they went that far.
I'm that petty.
Oh,
I'm that petty.
really
You going to jail?
No. If a woman cheats on her spouse, not if
not
the
if the man cheats.
No.
I'm moving. Yeah, I'm moving.
Yes. So they don't go to jail. They don't go to jail. It is the woman.
So what happens?
He can literally have a police officer come out and arrest her. Absolutely.
Wow.
It is illegal.
So many layers to this onion.
Right.
Ladies, thank you everybody so much for watching Talk Show Divas. We're going to be back in just a few minutes after some commercials. And I know my girl Cece has got something amazing planned to talk about.
I love something.
Yes. Thank you everybody. Come back.
TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.